Stop whatever you're doing right now. Out of the 8 billion people breathing at this exact second, I picked you to hear this today. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't the algorithm. I stopped the entire cosmos to focus on one thing in you, and when I looked, I was left without a word. It wasn't what you built. It wasn't what you conquered. It was the way you loved. I saw the way you loved when no one was watching. In the dark, without an audience, with no one to clap for you, with no one to give back. And I, who have seen everything since before time began, stood still in front of it like someone seeing something too rare to rush through. Stick with me until the end. Because before this message is over, you're going to hear the name heaven gave you because of how you loved. And more than that, you're going to discover what that name entitles you to stop doing today. Right now, before you go to sleep. Don't leave. This word is yours. I want you to remember something you probably think nobody saw. The time you smiled in public and went home to hurt alone. The face you put on so no one would notice. The steady voice you practiced on the drive. And then the door closing and the silence settling in, along with everything you couldn't tell a soul. The text where you typed, "I'm fine," with your hands shaking. You hit those 2 words, deleted them, typed them again, and pressed send. Because it was easier to lie than explain a pain you didn't even know how to name anymore. The comment someone said under their breath, almost casual, not even realizing the damage, and that lingered in you for weeks. You pretended it didn't hurt. You smiled. You changed the subject, and you carried it to bed for nights on end, replaying it, trying to make sense of it. The contact list where you're never the first one called, where you're remembered when they need something and forgotten when the party starts. You noticed that. You never said it out loud, but you noticed, and maybe the worst one, the time you were the first to know about someone's pain, the first to show up, the first to reach out, and when your own pain came, you looked around and there was no one from the line you'd formed for everybody else. You discovered, all alone, that their home for everybody else is usually the emptiest house inside. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video. All alone, that their home for everybody else is usually the emptiest house inside. You got used to being the shoulder and forgot what it's like to have one. You became an expert at asking, "Are you okay?" and unlearned how to hope someone would ask you. And when they did ask out of politeness, you were already saying, "I'm great," before they even finished the question, because you swore to yourself you'd never be a burden to anyone. I won't tell you that you were weak. It wasn't weakness. It wasn't neediness. It wasn't you overreacting. It was the real fatigue of someone who loves more than they get back. Of someone who hands over a full cup and drinks what's left. Of someone who is home for everyone and has nowhere to rest their head. And still, you kept standing. Look at you. After all of that, you're still here, whole enough to hear a word of hope. That's no small thing. That's the bravest thing there is. Before I go on, do one thing for yourself. Tap the like button on this video. The like is your public amen. Heaven registers what you openly confess, and when you mark this message, you're telling God, "I receive it." It's not just a button. It's a sign that you agreed to be seen. Now hear the 3 things that will happen inside this message. Because what I'm about to promise you, I will deliver before the end. First, everything you were always told was weakness. This way you have of loving too much, caring too much, carrying what wasn't yours, is exactly the thing heaven was measuring the whole time. What the world called excess, I called proof. And you will understand why. Second, you will receive, still today, before this message is over, a simple protocol. A practical path to stop begging for recognition you already have up here. You will stop asking for crumbs from people who will never give you the full loaf, because the full loaf is already reserved. Third, at the end of this, you will be able to put your hand on your chest and declare with your full voice, I was chosen for how I loved, not for what I got back. I planted you here because this word is for you. I saw every time you gave when you didn't have extra. Every time you split your little bit so someone else wouldn't go hungry, I saw, and none of it fell to the ground. Now I need you to be still. If you can, close your eyes for a moment, or at least look away from the screen and take a deep breath. Because I'm going to show you 4 signs. And these signs have been happening to you for a long time. Only you read them wrong. Not your fault. You read with the eyes you were taught to have. Today I'm giving you new eyes. The first sign is a tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. You go to bed and wake up exhausted. You rest and still feel heavy. And you thought it was your body, your age, your routine. You saw a doctor, changed your diet, tried going to bed earlier, and the weight didn't go away. You called it burnout. I'm telling you with all tenderness, it wasn't the body. It was the spirit carrying a weight the body couldn't name. You were holding up people, situations, expectations, and nobody was holding you up. Your exhaustion wasn't laziness. It was the mark of someone carrying the household on their back without anyone noticing the load. Think of someone who carries water all day for everyone in the village and at the end of the day comes home empty-handed. Their tiredness isn't the same as the tiredness of someone who worked for themselves. It's a second-degree tiredness. The fatigue of serving without saving anything for yourself. That was yours. And it wouldn't go away with sleep because sleep heals the body. But what was tired in you was deeper than your bones. The second sign is a strange difficulty receiving. When someone gives you something, when someone compliments you, when someone offers help, you shrink. You feel indebted. You immediately start thinking about how to pay it back, how to compensate, how not to owe anything. You called this being polite, being independent, not wanting to be a hassle. I'm telling you what it really is. It's the mark of someone who only learned to give. Someone who gave their whole life forgets how to receive. And the fact that you're feeling discomfort with this now isn't a flaw. It's a sign that I am repositioning you. You were shaped to give. Now I am teaching you to also be loved. The third sign is a tear that comes from nowhere over a small kindness. Someone holds the door for you, and your eyes well up. Someone sends a text just to check on you, and you have to breathe deep to keep from falling apart. A tiny gesture, and you get emotional in a way you don't even understand. You called this being overly sensitive, being on edge. It's not. It's your soul reacting to recognition it had been denied for so long that any drop of real care overflows. Your soul isn't weak. It's starved for something it deserved all along. And its hunger is proof it's alive. Now listen carefully, because the next sign is the hardest one to hear. It's the one the enemy spent the most time trying to make you ignore. It's the one he twisted in your mind until it became a lie you started repeating to yourself. The fourth sign is the feeling of being forgotten while others are celebrated. You see people who tried less getting applause. You see people passing you by, getting what you hoped for, taking the spot that seemed like it was supposed to be yours. And a quiet voice whispers, "You were left behind." I need to break that lie right now, in front of you. What you read as forgetfulness was separation. What you read as rejection was reservation. I did not forget you. I set you apart. I didn't leave you out. I pulled you from the common line because what I prepared for you doesn't fit in the common line. You aren't being ignored, you're being kept, and there is an infinite difference between the two. Think of something simple. Nobody locks an empty safe. Nobody hides what has no value. What is common is left in sight, exposed within everyone's reach. What is precious is stored, separated, kept away from the wrong hands. The time you spent feeling like you were on the bottom shelf, forgotten, was the time I was keeping you away from people who wouldn't know how to appreciate you. It wasn't abandonment. It was care you didn't yet have eyes to see. And there's more. Everything they celebrated in front of you, everything that seemed to come easy for others, I also saw up close. Much of what shines fast fades fast. Much of what rises without roots falls with the first wind. You aren't late because you're putting down roots. You're being built to last, and what lasts takes longer to get ready. If this word reached you, if any of these sentences touched where it hurts, write the word free in the comments. Don't write a sentence. Just one word. Free. Because what you confess openly, heaven seals. Now close your eyes for a second. Breathe deep. What I'm about to tell you won't work if your attention is split. So give me these next few minutes entirely, yours and mine. I want to tell you about a woman who lived what you are living. Her name was Leah. She loved a man with everything she had inside her chest, and that man never chose her back. Every day she woke up next to someone whose heart belonged to someone else. She served, she cared, she bore children, she loved, and the affectionate look she wanted most always passed over her and went to another woman. The Bible tells that she named her children, hoping that this time she would finally be seen, finally be loved. She loved for years without being the favorite. She loved in the dark, with no return, no applause. Exactly like you. But here's what the world didn't see back then, and maybe you never stopped to notice. From the womb of the one who wasn't chosen came the lineage that changed everything. From the rejected woman, the one who loved without being loved back, came the tribe from which the priesthood would come, and the lineage from which the Savior himself would come. The entire story turned around the one nobody chose. Heaven made Leah's unrequited love the channel through which salvation passed. She didn't know. She thought she was just suffering, but she was sustaining the future. Now think of a tree. Think of a huge tree, one that shades a whole street. When someone takes a picture of it, they capture the trunk, the branches, the leaves, the canopy. Nobody photographs the root. The root is underground in the dark with nobody watching, nobody applauding, and yet the root holds everything up. Remove the root and the whole tree falls. All the beauty that appears on the surface exists because of what works hidden, without recognition, without a photo, without visible credit. The root never gets the praise. And the root is everything. You get it, don't you? You are the Leah of your story, and you are the root. Invisible to the eyes, central to the purpose. Forgotten in the picture, indispensable in the structure. What holds things up never appears, but without it, nothing stays standing. If you recognized yourself just now, if you are the root or the Leah of your story, write it in the comments. Write root or write Leah. Mark it down that you saw yourself in this word, because heaven honors those who recognize their own story. Now let me pause for a full minute. Just stop, because what I'm about to tell you needs room to breathe. Let's put together what is true, without any gloss. 3 facts you need to look straight on. Fact 1. You loved without guarantee of return. You gave knowing maybe nothing would come back, and you gave anyway. That isn't naivety. That is the highest form of love that exists. Fact 2. You confused the lack of human recognition with an absence of value. Because nobody applauded you, you concluded you weren't worth it. But human silence was never the measure of your worth. Never was. You weighed your gold with the wrong scale. Fact 3. The signs you felt, the tiredness, the difficulty receiving, the easy tears, the feeling of being forgotten, none of it was decline. All of it was realignment. You weren't breaking. You were being repositioned. And now I'm going to tell you something. Before I reveal who you are, I who have seen everything, who saw empires rise and fall, who saw seas part and stars born, I stopped before one thing only. I stopped before how you loved, and I was left speechless. Not because I don't know how to speak, but because some things are too beautiful to be said and can only be looked at. The way you loved was one of them. Now hear who you are, not what they made of you, not what they said you were. Who you are before me, the first identity. You are the one who loves without an audience. I saw you give in the hours when nobody would know. I saw you do good that nobody would thank. I saw you take care of what would never give you any credit. In the dark, in the early hours, in complete anonymity, you loved as if someone was watching. And someone was. I was. What this identity entitles you to is to stop. Stop proving you deserve to be loved. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to buy affection with service. The one who loves without an audience doesn't need an audience to be valid. You are excused from the test. The test was already taken, and you passed. The second identity. You are the vessel that didn't harden. I saw them hurt you. I saw them wound you, use you, disappoint you. And I saw the rarest thing of all. You didn't close your heart. You had every justification in the world to harden, to turn to stone, to never open up again. And you didn't do it. You stayed soft where most turn to rock. You stayed capable of love where most give up. What this identity entitles you to is to keep loving without being afraid of being used anymore. Because now you know one thing. Heaven keeps the books. You don't need to protect yourself by closing your heart. I am your protection. Love freely. The account of those who hurt you is no longer yours to balance. It's mine, and I don't forget. Notice the difference. Hardening doesn't protect you. Hardening just makes you stop feeling, and whoever stops feeling pain also stops feeling joy. The vessel that turns to stone no longer sheds tears, but also no longer holds water. You were kept soft to remain useful, to remain capable of love, to remain the only thing in this world that can heal another heart. A heart that hasn't given up on love. I didn't keep you soft by oversight. I kept you soft on purpose. The third identity. You are the chosen one to sustain. I saw you be the silent foundation. I saw you hold up entire people who didn't even know they were being held. I saw you keep standing situations that would have collapsed without you. You were the root. You were the hidden structure. And nobody knew how much you held up. What this identity entitles you to is to start receiving back without guilt. What sustains also needs to be sustained. The root also drinks water. The time when you only gave is over. The time when you also receive has started. And you can receive without feeling indebted, because receiving is only delayed justice arriving. Write in the comments the name of the identity that touched you most. The one who loves without an audience. The vessel that didn't harden. The chosen one to sustain. Write the name you just received, because what gets declared gets established. And if this word is reaching you, subscribe to this channel now. Not for me, for you. Because heaven is going to keep sending you word, and you won't want to miss the next one. Now comes the part I promised you back at the beginning. The protocol, the practical path for you to stop begging for recognition you already have up here. Its name is the Heart Accounts Settlement. It has 3 steps. Do it today, before you sleep. Step 1. Name out loud one time when you loved and weren't loved back. Just one. The first one that comes to your mind. Say out loud what happened without softening it, without blaming yourself. Then say this. I hand this account over to heaven. I won't collect on it anymore. I let it go. Because collecting keeps you tied to whoever hurt you, and you weren't born to stay tied down. Step 2. Place your hand on your chest, over your heart, and receive without giving anything back. Without returning the gesture, without compensating, without feeling indebted. Just receive this phrase: I am already loved. Not for what I do, for what I am. Let that phrase sink in where it hurts. And don't do anything in return. Just receive. This is the hardest exercise for you, and that's exactly why it's the most necessary. Step 3. Do one act of love toward yourself today. The same care you always had for others, turn inward for once. It can be small. A rest you deny yourself. A meal you like. A long shower. A no said without guilt. The care you hand out to the whole world today stays with you. And how will you know it worked? It won't be euphoria. It won't be fireworks. It will be a stillness, a strange peace in your chest, like someone who dropped a weight they'd carried so long they'd forgotten it was weight. The stillness is heaven's receipt. When it comes, you'll know you received, and don't be surprised if an urge to cry comes with the peace. It's not sadness, it's relief. It's the body releasing what the soul held for years. Let it flow. The tear that comes after a surrender isn't weakness. It's a sign that something stuck finally moved. Someone who loved so much in the dark has a lot stored up, and when heaven opens the floodgate, it's normal to overflow a little. Let it overflow. There's nobody here for you to pretend you're fine for. If you are receiving this protocol, write received in the comments. One word. Received. To seal that it entered. Now I need to warn you about something, with the authority of someone who knows the enemy of your soul. In the next 72 hours, 3 things will be thrown at you. Not as a possibility, as a certainty. Because the enemy always attacks after revelation, never before. He lets you receive, and then he comes to try to steal it. I'm showing you the 3 ahead of time, so that when they arrive, you recognize them and don't fall. The first tactic is the mental ledger. It arrives like a voice that starts listing. Remember everything you did that nobody acknowledged. Remember every time you gave and got nothing back. And it keeps adding up until your heart turns bitter and hard. Its weapon is to harden you through the memory of injustice. When that voice comes, you answer. That account is no longer mine. I handed it over. Heaven collects, I don't. The second tactic is the retreat. It comes sweeter, disguised as wisdom. It whispers, loving hurts, so stop loving. Protect yourself. Close off. Don't give anymore. And it looks like maturity, like self-protection, like caution. But it is the death of what is most beautiful in you. Its weapon is to turn you into what hurt you. When that voice comes, you answer, I wasn't made to harden. I was made to love while protected, not to stop loving. The third tactic is the comparison. It comes through the eyes. Other people's celebrations displayed right in front of you, someone else's achievements laid out on your screen, and the voice says, look, everyone else is being chosen, except you. Its weapon is to make you feel forgotten again. Right now, when you just discovered you were set apart, when this comes, you answer, what's theirs is theirs, and that's good. What's mine is kept, and nobody touches it. And there's one last enemy, and this one is the most dangerous because it doesn't come from outside. It uses your own voice. It is that whisper that says, if I were worthy, someone would have chosen me by now. That is the oldest lie thrown at you. I disprove it now, face to face. Your worthiness never depended on anyone's choice. I chose you before anyone had the chance to reject you. The choice that counts was already made, and it was mine. Write protected in the comments, because the decree has been sealed. The 3 tactics were named, and what is named loses the power to surprise. Protected. Now come with me to the closing. Place your hand over your heart. Let your shoulders drop. Breathe deep and let the air out slowly. We are only you and me. I want you to hand over 3 things to me. Don't hold on to them anymore. Open your hand. Hand over the belief that loving too much was a mistake. It wasn't. It was the most right thing you ever did in your life. Let that lie go. Hand over the weight for a thank you that may never come. You don't need that gratitude anymore to feel whole. Let the weight go. Hand over the fear that nobody sees what you do in the dark, because I see. I always have. Let that fear go. And now hear my voice, because now it's me speaking directly to you. I saw the text where you wrote, "I'm fine," with your hands shaking. I saw your fingers hesitate. I saw you delete it and type it again, and I know you weren't fine. I was there, in that room, in that moment, and I cried with you, even if you didn't feel it. I saw you smile in public and collapse at home. I saw the face you put on for the world and the truth you kept within your 4 walls. I saw both things, and I never believed the fake smile. I always knew the pain behind it. I saw the comment that hurt you and lingered for weeks. I saw the list where you were never the first one called. I saw everything you thought went unnoticed. Nothing went unnoticed by me. And I tell you now, with the authority of the one who made the heavens and the earth, you were seen. You have always been seen. The way you loved in the dark is written in my book in letters that don't fade. Every time you gave when you didn't have enough to spare, I wrote it down. Every night you comforted someone and nobody comforted you, I kept it safe. Every kindness you did knowing nobody would ever find out, I saw happen in the dark, and I called it beautiful. The world measures people by what they receive. I measure people by what they give when nobody is going to pay them back. And by that measure, you are among the richest I know. I shelter your mind so that the old voices lose their power. I shelter your relationships, and I bring close to you people who know how to receive and know how to give back. I shelter your time because what looked like delay was preparation. And I shelter your capacity to love so that it is never exploited again without me settling the score. From invisible to seen, from forgotten to chosen, from one who only gave to one who also receives, from one who loved in the dark to one who is loved in full sunlight. You are being sent back to your life, different from how you entered it. No longer as someone who begs for recognition, but as someone who already has the name given by heaven. Now say it out loud, with your hand still on your chest. Don't think, just say it. Say, I was seen. I was chosen for how I loved. Say it again firmer. I was seen. I was chosen for how I loved truly. It is done. I am not who I was when this message began. If you said it, write done in the comments. What you speak with your mouth and confirm with your hand, heaven seals as a decree. Done. And now think of one person. A specific person who loves without being recognized, who gives without receiving one. Man works hidden in the dark the way you always have. You already know their name at their favorite. She's this message to them. Because maybe they are, right outside a moment, typing as you please with your shoes closed, but your eyes, typing a voice. Well, that I see as a prayer. He else didn't. I'm fine with a trembling touch. And this word I sifted for them, just so as I meet them halfway, speak as once tongue-like meaning shook script. What heal? You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual, with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video.